a Newberry group.
What? All right, here we go. We are streaming.
This summer. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome.
What's up?
Welcome to the NLG show. It is Thursday night. It's a little bit of we had a little bit of technical difficulties, so I'm sorry we're a half hour late. But the Brah will abide, right?
Oh yes, most definitely. Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Hopefully, hopefully we can get Fastback in here. He's on Skype, but I think he's having some technical difficulties of himself on his own. Peter never had a Dreamcast, so he's off playing Gears tonight.
Really?
Yeah. So
What's up with that?
yeah. So yeah.
That's why it failed. Thanks,
I know.
Peter. Yeah.
So I'm still trying to call Fastback to see if we can get him in, and if great. So I'm gonna slide us over a little bit.
Don't be scared, girl.
Right.
Don't be scared. I don't bite anymore.
Right. Come a little bit closer.
Baby, come back. Okay. I think Chris is playing Gears.
I don't know, man. I might have to check my Xbox app. So, how's it going, Indie Gamer? Yes, the new intro music, which I will explain in a moment. But it's here we are, and I got our good friend Thomas Williams, PlayStation Brah himself. What's up, man?
Thank you for having me on, Michael.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out that extra half hour.
It's all right, man. I enjoyed it. We had to listen to some great music too. So.
This is true. We got to listen to some Dreamcast music.
Hey, we had the NLK next level karaoke.
That's right. So that's
if you had like a Patreon, you could have had like the before the show, after show tier, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could do the Patreon thing. That's I can't do that to my people. We're here for them. So, but tonight, hopefully, if we could get Chris in here, he'll join us. But it's funny. Tonight we're talking Dreamcast. It's the 20th birthday. Is it birthday or anniversary? I can never figure out how they calculate whether or not it's, because some people say it's the 20th anniversary of the Dreamcast launch, and some people say it's its 20th birthday. Make up your minds, people.
Yeah, I'll go with anniversary. It sounds better.
I think I agree.
Makes me feel younger. Okay.
So, but by birthday, it's how old it is.
Yeah. See, as I'm saying, man.
So.
I can't believe it's been 20 years.
20 years. Unbelievable. Just incredible. Hello, kitty. Oh, I think it knocked his cat, I think, just destroyed. Oh, you gotta be kidding.
Hey.
There he is. Woo!
Okay. My cat jumped up on the laptop and pressed the airplane mode button. I am so sorry. I kid you not, man. Maybe it'll show it in the video.
It did. It just
right up here perfectly.
All I saw was some fur, and then
that's it. Good. You saw it.
You were out.
I am so sorry about that.
That is okay. No, that is okay. So
where were we at?
we were at welcoming you to the podcast. I think Indie Gamer, because we're so late, he might be the only person that.
That's okay.
He might be our only viewer tonight. But shout
We
out
love
to
indie games at my site. So.
Oh man, have you met Indie Gamer? You guys got to meet. He is, dude. You should see his videos. For like he does indie game videos, like wrap up videos. He did. You gotta check out his last one, which was a Gamescom one.
Oh yeah, that's what indie for the site. He was all about it. He was like, "Oh my god, there were so many indie games announced."
Oh yeah,
he did like a top 10 list of the best indies he found.
So you guys got to meet. I'm trying to recruit him for the site.
Hey, it's good though, man. I mean, there's so many big games coming out nowadays.
Well, it's always
that the indie games kind of get forgotten about.
And some of those are so good. Mm-hmm. They really are. I mean, some of them are. You when you're an indie game developer, man, you really do pour your heart and soul into, because a lot of times that's your, that's your livelihood.
Yeah.
If you fail and you maybe don't come back. So,
Mr. PSVR covers a lot of indie PSVR titles, and I always get the broken link alerts from my website. If let's say if somebody's linked to our site and their site's gone down, it'll tell me, whatever. And lately, at least twice a month, we're getting broken links from these small PSVR developers just disappearing. I mean, their website link is just gone. The website's just gone. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, and that's sad because that again, that is people's livelihood.
And their dreams too. It's
exactly. So, speaking of dreams,
good segue.
The good segue. Yeah. So, 9/9/19 was the 20th birth anniversary. The birth anniversary of
the Dreamcast.
Of the Sega Dreamcast, one of my favorite all-time consoles. I mean,
how many E3 did you go to?
My first one was in '98. So
you got to see all 10. The Dreamcast stuff and all that when it was still around?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yes, and in fact, I got it. So Sega did so much for me in many ways. Like there are not just as a gamer, but as what would become an aspiring game journalist. Oh, that's not quite what I'm going to try to find one with the white background real quick. An aspiring game journalist. They gave me my first gig as a game journalist, writing for a site called Dreamcast HQ, and I'll never forget this. The story of how this happened is so hilarious. So I used to work in retail, and I'm a musician, so I worked at a piano store selling pianos. No kidding. And just for those who might not know, piano sales. Hey, Jeff. All right. See, Jeff? My man, Jeff. No, he's here. No. Siberia. Piano sales aren't exactly what you call an impulse buy.
Yeah, that's super expensive, ain't they?
Well, yes. Yeah. And they're not exactly something that you go, hey, honey, I
want a piano.
Right, yeah, you don't go to Walmart. You say, hey, honey, I feel like going out and getting a piano today. Why don't we go looking? It just really doesn't happen that way. So I had a lot of time to myself.
Start your own website on the side.
Right. So basically what happened was the store had a computer and had a 56K modem.
Ooh, big dog.
Uh-huh. So knowing that I would, and my shifts the store was only open for like 9 hours a day. So it's not, so I'm like, you know what? All right. So I worked from like 10 o'clock to 9 o'clock, or so no, 10 o'clock to like 7 o'clock or something like that. And so I'd start bringing in my Sega Saturn. and just playing games during the day, because what the hell else was I going to do? I can only dust off the piano so much. And I can only play them for so long, too. I mean, after a while, I kind of practiced enough. So I started using the modem. There we go. I started using the modem to get out and do some chat, some IRC chat and some other things like that. And I happened across this Sega site, and this guy, his name was Nando, was his code name, because they had him back then. I had the Stinger name for a long, long time. His name was Nando, and I got to talking to him, and he got me into a private IRC and said, "Hey man, I'm putting together a site dedicated to Sega's new console. Do you have any interest in possibly helping me out doing some writing?" Well, I've never done that before, but yeah, sure, why not? Why not? I would be cool. So we started putting this thing together, and since I had all this time, I started reaching out to Sega, just trying to see, hey, we're putting the site together. Wanted to see if I could get on a press release list or something from you. And I got in with a company called Access PR, and this is all a blur because we're talking about 1998.
Yeah, this is
but all of a sudden I'm getting press releases to an email address, to a Dreamcast HQ email address, and then I got an invite to E3. And I didn't know. I kind of knew what E3 was at the time. Back even before that, in Chicago when they had the summer CES show, a bunch of us, PC guys went down, over to Chicago to check that out one year. So I kind of knew what E3 was, but never really experienced it. So I'm like, okay, what the hell, I'll go. And I did. And it was mesmerizing.
Oh, yeah, I know, right?
Just mesmerizing. Because remember, at the time, it's Sega, Nintendo, and Sony. There's no Microsoft at this point. There's no, EA's around, but there's no, there are no, indie games. You've never heard of that stuff before. You just got the big guns. And I met my Access PR reps there, and we got to talk. We got to sit. I sat with them, talked for a while, and they said, "Look, how serious are you guys?" I said, "Well, I actually have the ability with what I'm doing currently to write full time for them, and we're going to strictly cover the Dreamcast, just nothing else." He said, "Okay." So at launch, 99. So it went back May of 99. So back then, the E3 shows were in May instead of out in June. And I started getting introduced to third-party companies. EA, but EA was with Dreamcast at the time, but I met them because they were doing PlayStation stuff, and I met Konami, and I met Midway, which is one of my favorite third parties of all time. Namco, and before it was Namco Bandai, it was just Namco, and so I'm making my way around, and it's really cool. And when September rolled around, because Dreamcast had launched in November of 98 in Japan. So
No.
I had imported one.
Oh, damn.
So you see the Dreamcast that's back on the wall?
Yeah, but I could see the image. I'm like, is that a Dreamcast on this wall?
Yes. Yes. That is my import Dreamcast. So
how much did that cost you?
Oh my goodness, it was like $500. Yeah, it was expensive. And then I had a bunch of games for it, so I brought a couple over to show you.
Do you have like Pin Triathlon?
You know what? I do have Pen Triathlon. I didn't bring it over, but like Evolution.
Yep, I remember that one.
So over in Japan, wrestling games were hot. So I had Giant Graham Wrestling.
Okay, I don't remember that one.
Let me tell you, it's all Japan. So you know how you got New Japan and All Japan?
Yeah.
This is All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, that's cool.
Badass. And it
is awesome.
Yeah, this blew away Fire Pro Wrestling, which was still 2D at the time.
Yeah. Oh, hell, it's 2D now, isn't it? Kinda.
It still is.
Yeah. Okay.
Sega GT.
Oh, nice.
And that's the Japanese version.
Double disc. Whoa.
Yes, actually, because it didn't actually have 2 discs, but it had 2 books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a technical book, and so see, this is back when games had manuals.
What is that?
So, I know. So
tell me this manual.
This was all about how to drive. Now it's all in Japanese, but it's all about different turns and how to take turns and how to drive. I mean, this was the answer to Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
For Sega. Hey, Macaval, what's up, brother? And then you had the regular manual book, which told you all about how to play the game. So you had that. But that technical book was all about how to drive and how to run. I mean, it was really cool. I couldn't understand a word of it, but
he's sitting there. Wow, thank you.
I had Power Stone before everybody else. Oh. Hold on, let me turn off this. Let me turn off this picture because it's blaring into the.
Hey, it's making me look better. Okay.
Oh, stop. Power Stone.
Great game.
Oh,
people still want more Power Stone games.
Yes.
Capcom's like, hey, Space Channel 5.
Space Channel 5. But again, and this was great because she spoke all Japanese.
You know it's coming to VR, right?
And of course.
Soul Calibur.
Yes, I know Space Channel 5 is coming to VR. I'm all over that.
No. Oh my God, this cat.
What? Oh,
my cat. He keeps bothering me. He's like the most independent cat I have, right? And tonight he decides to be my best buddy. Thanks, Mickey.
Aww. So here I am. I've got an import Dreamcast, and I'm writing about these games. So I'm showing the Access guys, look, guys, this is we're dead serious. And they said, all right, so here's what we're gonna do.
Hold on a second. Was Access Sega's VR people?
Yes. Called Access Communications.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a form in the mail at about, it was like July maybe. That had that was a I guess it was a release form for I needed to give some information to them so they could send me a Dreamcast.
Oh man, that's it right there.
So on launch, I got a Dreamcast, and I wish I still had it. I don't know whatever happened to it, but I'll show you what I got. A system disc.
Huh.
So when games were pre-release, before they came out on disc, on fully gigabit discs, they had these, and these are like, this is South Park Rally.
Yeah, I see it.
South Park Rally.
South Park Rally.
Yep.
Awesome.
So I got this. I got this on 6/19/2000. But games would come on this first, and in order to play these,
I'm listening. Don't worry.
It's okay. No, I know. In order to play these, you had to load up the system disc, and then you opened up the door, and then you put this disc in, and then it loaded. See, these didn't have the OS on it, so the system disc had the OS on it.
Oh,
that's how you
gotcha.
Right. I was like blown away. And
Because this was the first site you ever wrote for, right?
So first site I ever wrote for.
And then you're getting access from one of the biggest console makers at the time.
Yeah.
Sega. I would have been like,
I was.
don't blame you, man.
I was. I mean, it was
I would have crapped my pants.
It was amazing. And, you know, there are so many memories. So many memories of going to E3 while they were still around. I mean, it was only really until, you know, until like 2001 when they finally kind of ceased. But, you know, there are so many games that the system had that was just, I mean, just mind blowing. Like first off, the launch lineup. We got to talk about the launch lineup. As much as we all love our Xboxes, PlayStations, the Switches, and whatnot, and even PC gamers and all that, there is no console to date that has rivaled the launch lineup of the Sega Dreamcast. Not one.
Hell, didn't Soul Calibur get like perfect scores from everybody?
I don't know if it got perfect scores or not, but it was. I mean, it was like it was so arcade perfect. It wasn't. Funny.
I remember getting it. I was like, oh my god.
Wasn't even funny. I mean, it was just. It was. Yeah, it got a. Let's see, the Dreamcast version. The Metacritic was 98 out of 100.
Whoo! See what I'm saying? That's.
And you know what? I'm wondering.
Awesome.
I've never looked, but I'm wondering if our review is still in there. I don't know.
Damn, a 98. Whoo!
Yeah.
I remember when it came out. Soul Calibur was it, man. Everybody was like, "Wow, look what they've done with the Dreamcast."
Yeah, here it is. Oh my goodness.
You're on there? What?
Yes. Hold on. I wonder if I can share.
Can you bring it up?
I'm trying. Let me see. I can share a web page.
Mickey, Bubba, I love you to death, but Daddy's busy, okay?
Let's see.
There we go.
Drag this out.
Days
so
gone.
Soul Calibur for Dreamcast. And
Game Revolution. Happy Puppy?
Yeah, remember those guys?
No.
No?
I'm glad the Cincinnati Enquirer reviewed it.
Yeah, I know. Here we are. Dreamcast.net. If you no, where's my? Oh my goodness, that's not it. That's Dreamcast.net.
Yeah.
I know there was ours was DreamcastHQ.net, so I got to see. I don't know. I don't know if we were in Metacritic at the time. I have to look.
Can you go to what's the waybackmachine.com?
We're in the Wayback Machine. Maybe I'll do that real quick so you can get a look at what the site. I mean, this is like the site was so rudimentary too. Let's see.
It's okay, man. As long as you got the information people are looking for.
We did very well for ourselves. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all.
What was the Dreamcast launch lineup? Sonic.
Here we go.
Soul Calibur.
So in alphabetical. Yep, in alphabetical order. Arrow Wings.
Oh yeah.
Air Force Delta, which was Konami's.
Yeah.
You know, Blue Stinger, which was
Climax or.
Yep, it was Climax. Yes, sir. Good man. Cart to cart, flag to flag. Expendable, which was it wasn't. They didn't have twin stick shooters back then because the Dreamcast controller only had one stick. But it was like it was a crazy game. House of the Dead 2.
Yes.
For use with the gun.
The House of the Dead.
Hydro Thunder.
Oh man, I love that game.
Which, by the way, of course, spawned Hydro Thunder Hurricane, which came out on the Xbox. Because Microsoft bought the IP from Midway.
Really? Which one came out on 360? What was that one?
Hydro Thunder Hurricane.
Okay, I was playing that on Game Pass about
Oh
a month
my
ago.
God. Hold on. Hold the phone.
Yeah.
John Place is in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Holy crap. Techno Fabulous is here.
Techno.
Oh my God. My brother, how the hell are you? And Stinky Baby. Stinky's in the house.
Stinky
Oh my God. I
Baby?
cannot believe. Dude. Oh my goodness. John.
What up, John?
John used to be a co-host here.
Oh.
He created, this is awesome. He created the product of the week. So we would introduce the podcast with like a as seen on TV product, and he would do a commercial. It was the best. I miss John. I miss you. You know that. All right. So where were we? Hydro Thunder, Monaco Grand Prix. There were two racing games that came out on the Dreamcast at launch. Mortal Kombat Gold.
Oh yeah, I had that.
NFL 2K.
Yes.
NFL Blitz 2000. Blitz. Pen Triicelon. Power Stone. Ready to Rumble. Sonic Adventure. Remember, this was the first console since the Dreamcast. Actually, the Dreamcast didn't even... I'm sorry, the first console since the Genesis that... or let's say the Sega CD that actually had a Sonic game... A mainline Sonic game. So the 32X never had a Sonic game, remember? It had Knuckles Chaotix.
Oh, that's right.
And the Saturn...
Fun game, though.
It was a fun game. Yeah. The Saturn had a Sonic game, but it was Sonic 3D Blast.
Oh, yeah, it kind of didn't count. Yeah,
So this was the first
3D.
console... This is the first Sega console that launched with a mainline Sonic. Because remember, the original Genesis launched with Altered Beast. So.
Altered Beast.
My man. He's got 2 Dreamcast consoles, 6 VMUs, 26 mint condition games.
Gosh.
4 controllers and extender cables. That's my man.
I had the extender cables.
I do too. I still have them. Because I'm 20 feet away from the couch. So, So Sonic Adventure, Soul Calibur, TNN Motorsports Hardcore Heat, Tokyo Extreme Racer, and Trick Style. Now, of those, Tokyo Extreme Racer was the one that I got myself... I guess I got myself in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I hated that game. That game.
Give it a bad review.
I did. I said it's basically driving around at night in a circle.
Oh.
I got developer? Hate. I got forums were back then. I got hate like you wouldn't believe.
You piece of shit, Mike.
Yeah. How do you get It was hilarious.
Did you respond to him or just ignore him or?
Oh, I always responded.
Oh, okay.
I always responded because, look, I took criticism pretty head on, and if you took the time to
speak your opinion,
yeah, I'll tell you what I was thinking, and if maybe you understand where I'm coming from, maybe you don't. It's okay. I was never mean to anybody. I mean, it's not like I say, "Hey, you jackass," never did that. But
that's good though, man. Things have changed since then.
They have. They have. I never took it really, really personally, because you really couldn't. I mean, or you could, but what would it get you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
that was a hell of a lineup.
It was a crazy lineup. There was nothing, and there still isn't anything like it. Nothing like it. I mean, if you think about it, the only thing that it missed at launch, which I don't know why, in Japan, Virtua Fighter 3 TB launched with it. We didn't get Virtua Fighter with the US launch, but the European launch in October got Virtua Fighter 3 TB.
That is weird. I wonder.
That is weird.
Was there a reason for that? They just
I don't know.
you can't translate it fast enough. It's a fighting game. Come on.
Right. It's really funny. You know, that was also back in the day when games launched in Japan 6 months before it hit here and before it hit Europe.
Or longer, yeah. That'd be.
I mean, it's such a long time ago.
And now it's simultaneously, for the most part, it's worldwide for what, 90% of the games?
Right. And really now this, you know, here and in Europe are the two big markets. I mean, Japan is just not the market it used to be. I mean, again, this is just a partial stack of my imports. I mean, this is just a partial stack of them because I had to have these before the U.S. launch. I had to.
What was the Dreamcast's launch? What was in Japan? What?
So
what's it? Blue Stinger?
No, actually, it only launched.
Really?
It only launched with
the Godzilla game or something.
Godzilla Generations, July, and Pen Tri-Isolon and Virtua Fighter. That's it.
Ooh.
That's it.
Ouch.
I know.
If you bought a Dreamcast, you've been like, well, you better have loved Godzilla. Well, Virtua Fighter was big. You know, I mean, it's not as big now, but back then, Virtua Fighter was one of the top 5 fighting games around.
Yeah, right. You had that Tekken. I mean, that and Tekken were the two that went up against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you Battle Arena Toshinden was not quite. You know, not quite there. Fun. And of course, Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat were a whole different thing. You know, those didn't compete with Virtua Fighter and Tekken in those games because they really weren't. They were 2D games. So
right.
You know, you had a whole separate kind of genre for that. So, but you know, just to have those, and you know, other than maybe you could make a case that TNN Motorsports Hardcore Heat wasn't exactly a, you know, top tier title. It was, you know, but still, I mean, it was an off-road racing game. I mean, there wasn't, you know, what was funny about it was it didn't get bad ratings. Because when it launched in Japan, it came out in Japan first, and I remember because it was a good looking game, but it controlled like garbage.
But you couldn't get the firmware update to make
because it was called
controls better.
Yeah, in Japan it was called Buggy Heat.
Buggy Heat.
And I don't know why they put the TNN hard. I don't know why they put TNN on it. You know, the Nashville network, which I don't even think is announced. Right.
That's country boys.
Right. But they fixed the controls in the US version. So they tweaked it. It was one of the cool things about, you know, waiting that little extra time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, for what it's worth. I know. I think Indie Gamer mentioned Trick Style, which was neat because that was hoverboards. You know,
remember that one? Oh, let me look it up. Trick Style Dreamcast. Here we go. Let's see.
Got a 71%. I mean, it got. You know, it was a pretty...
Acclaim. Okay. Well.
Yeah, my brother's at Acclaim. My poor brother's at Acclaim.
RIP.
I know.
No, NFL quarterback club.
No. Legends of Wrestling.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
I know. That led me to my most upsetting wrestling thing ever.
Was that?
All right, so quick sidebar. So during the time of the Xbox, you know, of course, I had the NLgaming.com site. So I was doing this neat thing. I was really in tight with Acclaim. Like I would go up to New York with Sean and Chris and Dan, one of my other writers. We'd go up once a quarter, so every 3 months. We'd head up to New York and we'd go see our buddies at Acclaim. And I mean, it got to a point to where they let us like tour their motion cap studio and crap like
really?
that. And, oh yeah, we were really tight with Acclaim. And by the way, if you want to play a fantastic baseball game, pick up an old copy of All-Star Baseball from Acclaim. That was a great series. Anyway, so Legends of Wrestling was coming out. They gave preview builds because I had a debug Xbox, so I could play preview builds, and I started doing this weekly wrestling show on the site. I would take videos I take all these videos and I would do like a wrestling show, and they loved it so much that they're like, "Hey, Mike, how would you like to do a couple of interviews with wrestlers?" I said,
But you're like,
"Oh, are you kidding me? I would love to." I was a big wrestling fan back then. And they said, "All right, so we're going to set this up." And like a week later, like, "Okay, so we're going to put you on a call with Jake the Snake Roberts."
Oh, holy crap.
And I said,
"Hey, Jake."
I said, "Come again?" They said, "Yeah, Jake Roberts is over in Europe. He's doing a promotional tour over there, and we're at this time. Give him a call, and here's the number, and okay, all right." I was like, one of my best friends. I called him up. I'm like, "Mike," his name was Mike too. It's like, "Mike, I am about to interview Jake the Snake frickin' Roberts for our website." He's like, "Oh my God." He's like, ask him this. So I wrote down questions that he would ask. So I called Jake the Snake Roberts in his hotel room over in Europe.
"What the hell do you want, boy?"
I'm dead serious. So you know how he talks about his recovery?
Yeah.
Remember the movie Beyond the Mat?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this was during that time.
Oh, no.
Oh, no is right. I was on the phone with him for an hour and a half. It was about 45 minutes before we even talked about the game. I don't remember half of what he said to me. I'm not kidding. He was high as a kite.
Tore up from the floor up.
He was, yeah. He was, it was, I called my friend back afterwards, and he said, "How'd it go?"
Well.
I said, "Mike," I said, "I hope that man gets some serious help or he's going to die." And he's like, "What happened?" And I started to tell him. I said, "It was the most incoherent conversation I've ever had with a person."
Thanks, Acclaim.
Yeah. And well, so that's not, it wasn't Acclaim's fault. I called my rep and I told him, and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." He says, "Can I set something else up for you?" And I said, "No, don't worry about it. Honestly, I'm devastated enough as it is."
Yeah, I was my childhood. Thanks.
I was devastated. If you could have been next to me when I hung the phone up, and I just put my head down, and I couldn't believe the conversation I had just had with Jake the Snake Roberts, I may as well have been talking to someone else. Ooh. I mean, to this day, I can't tell you what that conversation was about because it was so incoherent rambling from him that it honestly shook me. Like I was absolutely shook. I would love to. He comes out and he does comedy club shows now, and I know he's been to Baltimore. He does a comedy show, and a lot of it revolves around what he did in his past and recovery stuff. I would love to meet him now and tell him that I am proud of what he did to recover, him and Scott Hall and DDP was kind of the catalyst for this, but him and Scott Hall, getting their shit together, because I honestly was like, he's gonna die, and you're gonna find him on the floor of his hotel room one day, and so this has nothing to do with the Dreamcast, of course, but just because it was devastating. It was wow. So anyway, I don't even know where we were.
You were talking about the Legends of Wrestling game with Acclaim and everything.
Oh, because we were talking about Acclaim.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyway,
who published the game? Who published that in Japan? Wasn't Acclaim? Was it?
No. Okay. Did Buggy
Acclaim
Heat.
just brought it to America to make some money off the Dreamcast launch, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, let's see. It was actually a company called ACS Games. I remember that. I'm just trying to look at who.
It was Blue Stinger.
Yeah. Blue Stinger was Climax. Climax made some pretty good games back in the day.
I mean, the game was I don't know, man. Blue Stinger was kind of.
It was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of creepy. Also kind of creepy. Hold on.
Activision published it here. That's funny.
Oh, right. Also kind of creepy was this game. Do you remember Carrier?
Yeah. I had that game, dude.
Oh my goodness. If you can
on
hear
that
it.
Boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
By Jellicoe, who was known for making baseball games. And then they came out with this thing. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't bring it over, but I also have Sword of Macon, or what the hell was that called? The guy ran around with a giant sword in his back.
Sort of Berserk.
Sort of the Berserk.
Yeah, Sort of Berserk. The Berserk anime.
Yes.
Great game. Great game.
So, what else do I have here? Oh, so I showed you this earlier. I want to give a shout out to my man Pete Hines. So everybody knows Pete Hines from Bethesda Softworks. He's been there for a long time. When he tells you that he's been there for almost 20 years, he's not kidding. So in 2000 at E3 is when I first met him, actually. And we kind of commiserated together because we both live in Maryland. He's in Bethesda, so Southern Maryland. I'm up here in Northern Maryland. So we had a chance to bond a little bit over that. And before I left my interview with it, not interview, but my press meeting with him, he said, "Hey, hold on a second, let me grab something for you." So he goes into the back, and he comes out, and he hands me this. So this is a self-booting copy of PBA Bowling 2001. This game, yes, this game had not come out yet. It was a preview build, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we're just gonna come out later this year, sort of end of the year, because they always did that, the next year's date on shit." And and so I got it home and I played it, and it was it was okay. It was not nothing.
It was
special.
okay.
It was bowling. It was great. But the game never came out because by that time the Dreamcast really was kind of starting on its downturn. So the game never came out, and Bethesda went on to work on other stuff. There's only a handful of people that have one of these. I'm one of them, and to this day I keep it kind of separate in a case. It still works, still plays, but I was very fortunate to have that.
That's your holy grail, a Dreamcast?
No.
PBA Bowling.
It's not.
Well, it's an unreleased game, though. I mean, it's kind of...
Hold on. I'm going to show you what my holy grail is. So, I think this was 2000, Infogrames put out the Test Drive V-Rally series. Remember Test Drive?
Yeah.
Let me turn this off again. So, this is one of the things that I hold dear to my heart for all time. So here's the game. On the back is my first ever box quote.
Okay, that is much cooler.
Said the definitive rally racing game on a Sega
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast HQ.
I bet you were like, "Oh my god, I'm on a game case."
That was one of 3 that I have, and that is I got one for this, one for a game called Chase on the Xbox, and one for a game called Downforce on the PS1. Downforce was an F1 racer game on the PS1.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah. Chase was a movie game, and my box quote on that said, "This was the game you were looking for when you went to buy Stuntman." Remember the Stuntman games?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the quote.
That was the quote on the back of the box. So, they kind of like that one.
So, like, hell yeah, Stuntman's a great game.
Yeah. I mean, the console had many people might not know this. I mean, look, when we talk about the Dreamcast, of course, we're talking about stuff like Jet Grind Radio, right?
Yes. Oh man, I love that game.
Jet Grind, and I've got to tell you what. You know what? I downloaded it. I grabbed this while we're talking a little bit. Let me bring up. So I did a couple of Dreamcast Saturdays streaming, and I did a good bit of see if I can bring it up here. I did a good bit of Jet Grind Radio. I mean, ahead of its
game
time.
Soundtrack so good.
Yes, ahead of its time. Let me see if it's got a little commentary, so let me try to get out of it. Let's see. Here.
All right.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Yo.
Coming at you.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like the pinnacle.
Super sweet soul brother.
Just turns me on.
Sweet. Remember the Dreamcast magazine had the demo for this?
Yep.
I must have played it 1,000,000 times. I was like, oh my god, it's a demo. Like, I remember one disc had the Shenmue trailer on it.
Oh,
Let me get back to business here.
I was like, this is the most amazing looking game I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my! Shenmue was such a. I mean that's a defining moment in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of those moments that you just it's a plateau before the next level up.
Yeah.
But I mean I played Jet Grind all the time. I
mean, it was such a fun game. It was just so different.
It was.
I mean, it's just Sega was, they didn't care. They just back on the Dreamcast, it was, hey, let's make what's it, Samba and Amigo? Remember that?
Yep. With the maracas. I have that game.
Yeah.
I have that too. With the
maracas,
maracas.
I had all that stuff.
I still have them. I still have the maracas.
Okay, I never had the maracas. So.
I have the maracas.
Yeah, it'd be there. I had like 2 guns, the steering wheel, the fishing reel, the keyboard. We talked about that earlier.
Yep.
By getting subscribing to AT&T.
So I got the gun that I have is the Mad Catz gun. I got a lot of Mad Catz equipment.
I had one of those. It was on sale at GameStop one time. I'm like,
yep.
Hell, why not?
And I got the Mad Catz Rumble Pack.
Yes.
So
the Rumble Packs.
Yep. I wish I meant to get before this show. I meant to get batteries so people could actually see what the VMU did, but I've got a ton of VMUs.
Little KO.
Jago, what's up, brother?
Bam.
I got the fishing rod.
Yeah.
This was a badass fishing rod. This was
I love Sega bass fishing. The game was a blast.
Bass fishing and marine fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so
Virtua Tennis.
Techno's been playing the hell out of Shenmue, the remakes. I've been watching him. He platinumed Shenmue. Shout out to my brother John who platinumed Shenmue.
I played
the new Shenmue. So Indy, I want the new Shenmue to be good. I just don't know if the money's there. I don't know if the budget is there. I just don't know. I mean,
They're making the game on the new consoles with a quarter of the budget they had back on the Dreamcast.
yes.
But,
And
I mean, times have changed. You can...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And nobody's seen... Have you seen any game footage yet?
Yeah, it was something.
I mean...
I watched... They had a trailer where somebody was playing... it wasn't E3. They had some event and the press came out and played it or something. And
I didn't see it. You didn't see it.
It was
live.
Shenmue.
It was.
It was the combat. He was doing some combat against somebody, and
it's. I don't know, man. I'm hopeful, but I just don't know yet.
it's for the fans. This isn't for. Oh my god! What the hell, cat? Chill, bro. But it's definitely for the fans. I don't see your casual gamer being like, "What is Shenmue 3?" They'd be like, "What the hell is this?"
Well, I think they did that. They did that at E3 when this thing was first announced. They're like, "Okay, it's Shenmue 3. What's a Shenmue?"
What's a Shenmue? Yeah,
Right.
I mean, my son, I bought the remasters off the PSN for I think $10. I'm like, hey, I gotta have it.
Yeah.
So,
but I still have Shenmue 2 for the Xbox.
Oh damn!
I lent my ex-friend my original Dreamcast Shenmue. Gone. And if I ever find him,
Break his knee.
I'm gonna. Yes, it's very close to what I'm going to do to him.
Okay, I came downstairs and my son was playing Shenmue. I didn't care, whatever. He was like, "Dad, why does this look like this?" Like, son, it's like an 18-year-old game. What do you expect?
Yes, Jago, that was Jet Grind Radio, and now
Yes.
Podracing.
Oh, a great game too.
Yes, this actually was good. The Pod Racer.
Oh yeah, it was a great game. It still is pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all.
My son goes, "Why does the game look like that?" I said, "Well, Thomas, it's an 18-year-old game at this point." He's like, "Can't they remaster?" I said, "They did remaster." He's like, he goes, "Can they remaster the remaster?"
Can they remake it?
I was like, "Come on, man."
It was
Hey, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get this cat out before
Yeah,
he
no
destroys
problem.
my room.
No problem. So, what you're seeing here is Star Wars Pod Racing. Now, the only problem I had was the HDMI cable that I bought. I'm gonna have to buy another one because it really washed it out. There was when I went to Too Many Games, there was a guy that's selling a.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. There's a guy at Too Many Games that was selling an actual mod for the Dreamcast that was an HDMI direct digital mod, like not a cable. It's a board, and you have to solder it to the. Yeah.
Too much work.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of buying it and then finding someone who will do it. Because unfortunately, this gets a little washed out when you get into the bright colors.
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah, it's like what the.
I know.
I think you're racing on snow.
Yeah.
You're going off.
Then I had so here's another great game, Virtua Tennis.
Dude, that game. Okay, I'm not the biggest tennis fan in the world, but Virtua Tennis was addictive as hell. I had the demo disc of it, and I would just play it all the time. I don't know why. I mean, I've never been a big tennis fan in my life, but it was just good arcade fun.
It is, and nobody remembers who Jim Courier and Tommy Haas, Carlos Moya are, but I do.
Who? Oh, because of this game?
No, because I used to watch tennis. Like
really? Okay.
I stopped watching tennis after guys like Pete Sampras and those
Big
guys.
names.
Yeah, like I couldn't tell you other than the Williams sisters who even.
Hey, Roger Federer, he's pretty good. Nadal,
Yeah, Federer. Is he still playing though? I mean, he's got to be like 80 years old.
He's like 35. Okay.
35.
I don't know.
I remember that time when Jimmy Connors at like 40 tried to come back and play Wimbledon and got to the semifinals.
Yeah.
And everybody was like cheering him on, and then he got his ass kicked.
Oh.
So, but it was Jimmy Connors.
This game was great here.
And it was, what you're seeing is not nearly as smooth as what it really is. It's a 60 frame per second game. I mean, this was a killer game.
Oh,
So,
oh, can he make it?
uh,
Oh, get him, get him, get him!
oh, good night.
There you go.
So, by the way, most people might not know this too, but you know, everybody thinks that Grand Theft Auto is just a PlayStation game, right?
Oh yeah.
Nope. GTA 2.
I had it for the Dreamcast.
Which was a top. You won't. I don't know how well you'll see it. Was a top-down game.
Yeah, I told my son. I said, Thomas, the very first Grand Theft Auto game, the first two were top-down 2D games.
Very nice, John. John says he's got the Pound Link cable. I almost bought the Pound Link cable, but you can't. My Elgato doesn't recognize it. So yeah, so I bought this cable because it said it did, but it washes it out. So if the image isn't really washed out, I might pick that cable up anyway, and then just not worry about streaming the Dreamcast, or putting it through the Xbox One through the HDMI in, and just have it. It'll just be letterboxed sideways because it's 4:3 image. There wasn't any widescreen back then.
How did your streams go when you might stop by to watch old Dreamcast footage, or there were people?
One or two people.
What's a Dreamcast?
I know. Dynamite Cop, remember?
Oh, I love that game, man. Wasn't it the Die Hard sequel?
Yeah. Well, it was. It turned out that's what they tried to make it was Die Hard Arcade. Is what?
Yeah, but they couldn't get that with the rights, or.
Well, no, they had Die Hard Arcade came out on the Sega Saturn. So this was kind of the sequel, kind of.
That was a great game, man. That's a great beat 'em up.
Four Wheel Thunder, which was
I never had that one.
Another Midway game. So it was in that Hydro Thunder series. They had that. They had Four Wheel Thunder and they had Arctic Thunder.
I remember Arctic Thunder.
Yep.
Hydro Thunder.
18-wheeler.
Yeah,
that was such a cool game. And then for RPGs, I mean, this was. Grandia 2.
Oh, yes. Which was far superior to the PS2 version.
Mm-hmm. Game Arts. This was this was after. So this was after Working Designs had their falling out with Bernie Stolar. So Ubisoft did Grandia. Working Designs had done all of these great Game Arts games over. Lunar, the Silver Star story, and. Stuff like that, and then for some reason Victor Ireland, who was the head of Working Designs, got into some crazy fight with Bernie Stolar, and I remember because on the forums, whatever the message boards were back then, they weren't forums, but they were. Remember the message boards? They were like you used to have to download the headers and whatnot. You had to have special software, but anyway. Victor Ireland would go on these forums and he would just trash Bernie Stolar. And so after the Saturn and after games like Magic Knight Ray Earth and stuff, he I'm not making another game. I'm not bringing another game over from for Sega. And of course you had Fantasy Star Online.
Oh man, I loved that game.
I cannot wait.
Oh, for the one for the 2. Oh hell yeah.
And by the way, on this game, the Sonic Adventure 2 demo.
Yeah. Ooh.
Hey, Sonic Adventure, man, that was
a big game.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They said that was the best-selling Dreamcast game of all time in America.
I would believe it. To me, it's the second best Sonic game ever created.
Oh yeah, it was so good, man. Adventure 2 was cool too. It had some cool moments, but I always thought Sonic Adventure it never lived up. I mean, it set this precedent for future Sonic 3D games, and they were all kind of like.
Right in the beginning when you're going through the island and that giant whale man comes following you down, breaking everything behind you, and you're like, "Holy crap!" And it's running like super smooth.
This is the future. That one stage where you go in the tornado.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I know. We're gonna be sitting there playing Dreamcast next.
You mentioned the mouse and the keyboard. I had the mouse and keyboard for Quake 3 Arena.
Oh,
remember
that game was
Net?
great, man.
Yep.
It ran so good on the Dreamcast
It
too.
did, but so this is why I'm not I've never been a giant proponent of crossplay with PC because I know what it's like. I know what it's like because I had a mouse and keyboard, and I played Quake 3 Arena with the mouse and keyboard, and I stomped everybody. There was nobody. Like, nobody could turn around fast enough for me to not shoot him in the back. It was just unfair. Totally unfair. So
That's fair.
yeah. And I mean, this was an awesome Quake 3 Arena was an awesome port. And it was done directly by id Software. And it was put out by Activision because at the time id was part of Activision.
Right.
So
hey, did you say your website was on Wayback Machine?
it is. But it's
How does that work? Can you see me a link to it, or how? Is it?
yeah.
Do you get on there and type in your website and it'll pop up, or?
That's the way it's supposed to work.
Okay, I've never used the site before. I mean, I want to see your work. It's kind of cool.
It's weird because I was just looking and not a lot of it's there, and I'm trying to figure out if it's an older version. Like all of my NL Gaming stuff is there, but I went looking for the review that I did test drive Rally on, and I couldn't find it. It was really weird. But like I said, all of my NL Gaming stuff is there, which I did not do any Dreamcast stuff on. By that time, it was dead.
Yeah, it was rip.
Yeah.
What was the last Dreamcast game?
The very last one?
Yeah. Because I can't remember. Maybe somebody in the chat will say something.
The last one.
Because didn't the Saturn have like House of the Dead and Burning Rangers and
Saturn had Burning Rangers, House of the Dead. House of the Dead 2 was a launch title for the Dreamcast.
Right. I thought that Saturn had like that 4 games that came out near the end. People were like, "Oh, they're so hard to find now." Oh. Maybe I'm daydreaming.
No, I don't think you are. I think you're close.
One of the Dreamcasts had something like that, like the holy grail of games that. Let's see. Final Dreamcast.
Somebody says it is
Because these new ones don't count.
Yeah. No, somebody says it's NHL 2K2.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all games. NHL 2K2.
Yeah.
Wait, Sega made some hockey games? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Visual Concepts. All right. So the problem is. So here, I'll show you. Let me bring this back up. So here's the site, but there's a big blank between. Oops. When it started, when I joined. Let me see if so this was like the first iteration of it.
Nice.
Well,
frames,
I wasn't
non-frames.
Right. So yeah, by the time it
Worldwide affiliates.
Yeah. So then it morphed into this, which was much nicer. So
Shenmue has been delayed.
Yeah.
Sega makes it official. Oh, darn.
I know. So
Metropolis Street Racer.
Yep. Which I found at oh my goodness, I found
too many games.
Yeah.
Well, hey, go back down a second. Scroll back down.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. It said something about a contest or
Oh, here I am. So
review editor, the old fogey of the bunch.
Yes.
Mike can be found looking for his lost shares and watching reruns of the TV series Matlock. You old bogey. He's not posted for DCHQ. Unfortunately, we're going to scroll too fast. Going to have him fire him before he can start collecting retirement benefits.
And then so here's my friend Chris Wilson who helped me start NL Gaming.
New editor. That's all.
And I don't know if Sean
Did anybody else go on? Did they still ride? Anybody else still ride? Or
I ran into Nando. His name is Chris Sigmund. I ran into him like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and he said he still does some coding, but he doesn't. We reminisced. I don't know anything about where this guy went. Chris retired after I retired from NL Gaming. Mark was in the UK. I don't remember where he went, and I don't know where Ross went. So, I mean, it was fun. It really was. It was fun while it.
It is fun, man. It's, hey, here we go. Cool. It's like a GT NHL 2K Wild Metal.
I'm trying to see where. I think this was one of mine because I kind of wrote this way. So is this one of mine? Yeah. So this is how, I mean, if you go through and you look at my NL Gaming reviews, this is kind of how I kind of pulled this. So I did like a concept, I did graphics. This is just, I just loved what I did. I wonder if it shows,
I know, man. I
wonder if it would show.
Castlevania's back. Hey, there's Sarah from Dead or Alive.
Yeah, sorry. Not every page was. That's part of the problem. Not every page was
archived.
Cached, yeah.
Archived.
Archived. So I mean, that's just it's like stuff that I used to do. Before NL Gaming came along. So I remember. I remember when they. Oh, here we go.
Get him. Oh, what? Okay. I was like, how the hell? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Woo.
Here, I'll show you another one. So we went through one more design change before things shut down. And this was in 2001. So, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Was coming about. So we...
Yo, it's Napster alternatives.
Yes. Yo, Lars Ulrich. So Chris was doing a lot of writing, and I was doing a lot of writing. So
Side is not dead.
No. And Ravens win the Super Bowl.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
They beat the Giants.
Yeah.
Which will you use to play Quake 3 Arena on the Dreamcast? Keyboard, mouse, controllers, telekinesis. Yes. What? How many views did y'all get per day? Did the site have?
I don't even remember. So,
a reader's petition.
Yeah. There are those who are not happy with it. So let's see if I.
Here we go. Are you happy with Sega's decision to abandon the Dreamcast? Well, one of our devoted readers put together a petition to change their mind.
Hey, Invader, what's up, brother?
This is fun. This is too much fun.
Somebody actually put it to this. I mean, I can't believe you got me looking at this, man. I mean, this.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. This is kind of interesting.
This is bringing me back to the old days, man.
If you had Earthlink DSL, this will load 3 times faster.
I had DSL too.
Yeah,
that is sad.
Wow, it's so fast.
Yep, and it cost you a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, here's an affiliate. Thank you. Jedi Knights, Poisonville, Ritualistic, Rust, Sci-Fi Gaming, Telefrag.
It'd be funny if any of those were still around. How do I go backwards? How do I go back? I guess maybe I have to do this.
I like that Dreamcast HQ.
I guess I got to go back this way.
Because you could do reviews of Dreamcast games now. They would just be...
Yeah, I've thought about going back and doing some stuff like this.
What they say, Dreamcast is what? Dreamcast is #1 in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Even though they were... That was like while it was on its way out the door.
Well, I guess they cut the price and people were like, wait a minute.
Yep.
Oh.
There we go. Did I review Samba de Amigo?
Snowcross.
Mark did. What did I review?
Some low-scoring games.
Yeah, here I reviewed Qbert.
Oh.
Majesco. This is when it started to get pretty cool with the right around the time that the Dreamcast was going down.
Wow, the site's so advanced. It's like, okay, we're closing the site. No, go slow. 4 out of 10. Maximum pool got an 8. Pod speed zone.
Pod was
extreme sports.
Dude, Pod. Did I?
Skies of Arcadia.
Yep. Pod was. Let me see. Yeah, this was mine. Pod Speed Zone was really cool. So, Pod was a PC game back in the day. And I had, when I was a PC gamer, I had like the 3DFX Voodoo chips and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, it was sweet. So, Ubisoft brought it to the Dreamcast and put it online. Because Sega Net. Remember Sega Net?
Oh, yeah.
And so that was what, that was what got me. And it was 60 frames per second online and offline. What's up, Invader? This was, there was, sometimes a game just comes out of nowhere and hits you. I just happened to have known about this game because I played it on PC. And I remember, so you'll see, while at E3, I was in the Ubisoft group and I caught it out of the corner of my eye. Dragged my great UBR buddy over, asking to what it was. Saw it on a Dreamcast, and it was Pod 2. And now, so at the time, it was Pod 2. So, yeah, it was. I got a chance to play an early copy of it. I knew, I was happy. So this is the kind of stuff that I just so enjoyed.
Hey, scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep going. What do you think of Sega's future in the game business? Pure domination, very good. Still okay, not too good. Let's vote. Pure domination.
See the results. Nope, couldn't do the results.
Oh, man.
Oh, well.
I ain't donating. You can get the site right.
So that was my foray into Dreamcast, right? And that's what got me. That when the Dreamcast died, and Sega went third party, I got together with Chris Wilson. And I said, look, we could either just, I said, what are you going to do? And he said, I don't know. I said, well, I could stop writing and just, call it a day and enjoy what I had. I said, or what if we went with the times? Why don't we create a multi-platform website? Something that will cover the PlayStation, will cover the Xbox, will cover the GameCube, will cover all the Sega stuff, because Sega's going to do, Sega pulled out like full auto and stuff like that on the Xbox and whatnot, and I said we'll cover everything. And so we created NL Gaming out of that, and that went until 2007.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and when my oldest son was 2, I just got too. I couldn't. He needed his dad's attention, so I couldn't work a full day at a full-time job and then come home and write anymore. I just couldn't. I had to give it up. And so but it was fun. It was great while it lasted. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't pay for a game for 10 years.
Hey, that's awesome.
And I still
perks of the biz.
And I still have my my 360 dev unit. I still have it. They never asked for it back. So I can't do anything with it. It's unplayable as far as games on, but I still have some red discs and things like that. It was really cool.
That's memories too.
I know. So getting back to the Dreamcast, you and I had talked a little bit before the show about EA. So EA was kind of one of the things that did Sega in, and it really shouldn't have. Even to this day, people think that the NFL 2K series, even as old as it is better than today's Madden.
Oh yeah.
Just for what it did, and how great it looked at the time. And that was one of the memories, and I tell this story a couple of times I've told it a couple times on this show. At one of my first E3s, the year that it launched, and I'm walking through Sega's booth. I'm on my way to my meeting with my Access PR guy, and I'm walking along, and I look up, and they're showing the giant monitor in the air, and they're showing NFL 2K. They're showing this football game that turns out to be NFL 2K, and I just look up, and there's a receiver running down the field, and the receiver turns his head to look for the ball.
Yeah.
And I stopped.
Oh my God.
I stopped where I was. And I just stared at the screen for another 20 minutes. I was late for my meeting. I just stared. And I was like, dude, I was like, Chase, I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry I'm late. I said, I got stopped at the NFL 2K video, and he just laughed. He said, all right, you're excused. I mean, it was just, it was one of those, you'd never seen that before. Even with the older Madden stuff, I mean, it was all clunky, and, because they did have Madden on the Saturn. But they just, it oh my goodness, it was just wow.
It was next gen.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, you go from what, the PS1. Remember how those football games looked?
Yep.
All blocky. The guys had the little hands, and all of a sudden you go to Dreamcast, and they got muscles or definition. They're all walking around looking like those superstars. I don't blame you, man. I remember playing them going, oh my God.
And one of the coolest things that came out of NLG was I got to interview the guys behind the commentary.
Really?
So you had Dan Stevens and Peter O'Keefe, right?
Yep.
And so
I'm Peter O'Keefe.
Yeah, you can't coach that.
Right.
Yeah, and it was really cool. And I remember. So that's not their real names, of course, right? So, they're. I'm trying to remember. Dan Stevens' real name is Terry McGovern, who was a voice actor. Yep. He was in like THX back in 1971. He was in American Graffiti.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, he was in some movies.
Yeah.
He was he did some Transformers voices. He was the voice of Launchpad McQuack in DuckTales.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. So if you start listening, if you go back and listen, like you could hear. So and as far as like other stuff, he did. I think he was in Jet Set Radio Future. And he did some other stuff, like he did Mech Warrior 3 and Star Wars Force Commander and stuff like that. So he was in a bunch of stuff. He was actually in Curse of Monkey Island too. I'm just looking at
So he made a career out of all this.
Yeah.
The
other guy was his name was Jay Stein, and I don't remember if Jay Stein ever did anything. I'm looking him up now, but it was really cool because they were so open about like everything. It was such a great interview, and at the end of the interview, they did a bumper for us.
Really?
Yes, that I used to play on the site.
What happened to it?
I don't have the bumper anymore.
Oh.
But I have the I believe that I still have let me see. Yeah, in a Word document. I still have the interview. And it was really cool. And this is here. I'll have to share it with you when we're done because you won't be able to see it on the screen. But it was for when NFL 2K5 came out. We had this, and it was really cool because they're just voice actors. They're not football guys.
Oh, not really?
Yeah, they had the visual concepts that open auditions, and they just walked in and auditioned for it.
You guys sound great.
Yeah. So they what's really cool is, and this is what they said, the script was sent out for them to read and send back. So those guys have their own studios. So they read the script, recorded their auditions, put them on MP3 because MP3 was a big thing back then, and sent them in. So it's really cool.
I can't believe they weren't sports guys. That surprises the hell out of me.
Yeah.
They were legit.
But they did do the recording.
Commentators, not just.
They did do the recording together, though. So when they were.
That's good.
Yeah, so when they did all that, because I asked them, I said, the commentary, unlike other games, doesn't sound pasted together. You both sound like you're having real conversations. You both do the recording together. And he said, absolutely. When we're reading, we're in the same room. So that was really cool. So, and it was just really cool. And Dan Stevens cut us a promo, and I wish I still had it. It's one of the things that I just unfortunately don't have. It was so back in the time. I mean, it was a phone conversation, so it wasn't like a Skype or anything like that. So, I had to like record it with. Yeah.
Thanks for visiting NLG.
Yeah, you get these little things that like sit on the phone. These little bug on the phone, like a spy bug, and you had to plug it into a tape deck.
Wow.
So but those were things that Sega just this is what they excelled at, and the Dreamcast was just such a good. Just such a good console that
the little console that could.
Yep.
It tried so hard, but the competition was like,
Well, we all know what happened.
And of course, Dreamcast. I mean, Sega made their own bad decisions over years.
Yes.
And that didn't help out either.
Yeah. I remember when, there was you remember the magazine Next Generation?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one of the launch, Dreamcast launch, like around Dreamcast launch, they actually had a quote from whoever was the EA exec at the time. I can't remember. So I don't think it was Riticello. It was the guy before him. Said that we're going to bury the Dreamcast, and that's why they had no, they had basically. What they wanted to do was they wanted exclusivity. They wanted Madden. They wanted NHL. They wanted NBA Live. They wanted those games to be exclusive to the Dreamcast. They didn't want any competition. And at the time, Bernie Stolar had just bought Visual Concepts for like $10 million. So he's like, look.
Chump change.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry, we're gonna make these games too, and it was Larry Probst. So here it is. Larry Probst was the CEO at the time, and so Larry said no. So if you put your own games out there, we're not gonna put our games out there at all. And Bernie Stolar said okay. Well, he felt cool. He felt that their games could compete, and really they could. The problem is they just didn't have the name power of Madden, and that was the problem. So, and then on top of that, after Sega went third party, then EA pulled the rug out from under everybody and bought the exclusive rights to make football games, which is why there's no competition anymore.
Yeah, it's same old Madden every year.
Every year. So, and that's why Sega sold off Visual Concepts to 2K, to Take-Two rather, and that's why Take-Two Interactive is the 2K, 2K Sports, because they just couldn't,
And it was a big name too. I mean, I don't blame them for buying it.
Well,
I mean, the 2K Sports back in the day was, like you said, that was EA's main rival.
Yeah, well, it's still. I mean, look at NBA 2K. That game put NBA Live basically out.
Yep.
So,
Live is it's not like totally dead, but it's pretty damn close to being dead.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
So, but man, I mean, in its day, and there's so much about it. I'm gonna bring this thing over. There's so much about this console.
It's heavy, ain't it?
It is, but it's small. I mean, it's. I could serve it. I could serve it on a plate.
Hey, you want some Dreamcast of pizza?
Right. And I did a video about this when I did my VGA to HDMI. But there's so many cool things about this console that people just took for granted. Now, I was wrong in one thing that I said in that video. Good night, Indie Gamer. Thanks for hanging out. He's in UK, man. I'm surprised he.
Damn!
I know,
I followed him on Twitter.
Yeah,
about 30 minutes ago.
He's awesome. I cannot believe that he hangs out this long. I mean, yeah, the CMOS battery, John, mine does that too. And no matter what, I'm gonna try to go in and replace it. But yeah, it happens to me too. I got to reset mine all the time. So the four joystick port was actually done on the N64 first. I was incorrect about. I thought the N64 only did 2. It did 4. Yeah. So I was incorrect about that. It had 4 ports on it.
How dare you, Michael?
I know. However, the Dreamcast was the first console to have the VMU, which if you play a game like NFL 2K, remember where I'm going with that?
It would keep the score on it, wouldn't it?
No,
your plays.
Exactly.
Your plays couldn't.
You couldn't tell what the other guy was calling because you could call it on your VMU.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Now with Sonic Adventure, did you actually download the KOs and grow them and whatnot?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I downloaded it, but I never truly fooled with it. I was like, it's kind of cool.
Tamagotchi'd it up. I can't lie.
That's okay, man. It's.
But the other cool thing we talk about the online, the fact that it not only had a modem on it, but it was modular. So this comes off.
Pop. Yep.
And then on my Japanese model is actually the. Oh wait, no, I put it on here. So this. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah,
it's the LAN adapter. So this actually had broadband before the Xbox put it. Yeah,
I was jealous because I had some friends that had broadband. I was like, I want the LAN adapter so bad.
So I mean, Sega did so many things beforehand. It had VGA out. No other console was doing VGA out until the Dreamcast. No. Just the other downside, the other thing that sunk them besides EA and stuff was, unfortunately, they went with the Gigadisc, and that was great, but the PS2 was going to run DVDs. And Microsoft tried to help out the Dreamcast by making it Windows compatible, but most people didn't utilize it, and because of that, there wasn't a lot of they did these GD discs thinking that this would be like really copy protected. But
no,
most of the games didn't fit the whole disc. They weren't big enough. So pirating of these games was just rampant.
Oh yeah.
So that kind of sunk things too.
After it died, I remember I found some website and they'd burn you a copy of any game for $2. So
yeah,
I was like, I'll buy 20 of them. I mean, it's games that you could either like Japanese games or maybe super hard to find games, and I'm like, well, the Dreamcast is dead now, so why not? What's the difference? It's gonna.
Yeah, I mean,
sad times.
It is. It is. I mean, there's so many good games.
Well, what's so funny is I didn't get into Sega Genesis, or I didn't get into Sega until I had a PS1, and the Saturn was dead at the time. But something about the Dreamcast, man, it just spoke to me. I mean, I was like, oh man, all these games, they're these arcade perfect ports. I gotta get me a Dreamcast, and yeah, we got one on $99.99. It was awesome. I was like, oh my god, it's just the memories, man. I remember having Ready to Rumble and all the Afro Thunder. Wow.
Yes. Now I don't have the first one. I've got the second one.
Oh really?
Ready to Rumble 2. I forgot what I did with my first one.
Ready to Rumble.
Midway just rocked.
Ooh, man, they rocked. Oh yeah,
Midway
man.
was so damn good.
So what happened to Midway?
They lost
decisions.
Lost money. I mean, after a while, Same thing that happened with the original THQ. It's just
THQ.
Yeah. Who's back?
Yeah.
So, and
line up like every old game you can think of.
Yes.
Remaster.
I mean, just that. I should think what else I brought over here. The NBA, NHL. I mean, they even had people don't remember that there was even an Echo the Dolphin game.
Yeah.
Defender of the Future.
I remember that.
It was the first real 3D Echo game. I mean, hell, even IGN at the time said it's one of 2000's best games.
Thank you, IGN.
Yeah. I mean, it was just
before clickbait came a thing.
Yes.
You won't believe what game is one of the best Dreamcast games of 2000 is.
Right. Echo the Dolphin. So I have just such fond memory. I mean, and it's great because, having fond memories is one thing, but being able to still plug this sucker in and play.
Yep.
I mean, I still do.
Did you have Typing of the Dead?
I have Typing of the Dead. It's over there. It's over there. I have it.
I'm like, this is so much fun, but then it gets really hard. And you're like,
it does.
Oh my god, how do I type this fast?
Right. Oh my goodness. I wish too that there's a game console, like a retro console coming out called the Polymega.
Yeah, I was talking about.
Yeah, they're making a light gun that works on a modern TV.
Oh snap!
And the Polymega is going to run Saturn games as well as PlayStation 1 games. So you get like Time Crisis and whatnot, and Virtua Cop.
Oh, I got an email from them talking about there was 6 classic Saturn games that are hard to emulate, and the Polymega did them perfectly. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna turn this up a minute.
Streets in the one big dance party. Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio.
Turned out to be the
I love shockers.
Love broke their hearts, and now they're looking to do some breaking of their own. Watch out for these.
They look bad.
When you see their heart-shaped graffiti around, you know someone somewhere is crying with a ookie ookie waku waku feeling.
What? What did you say?
The ookie ookie waku waku feeling.
Okay, I couldn't hear it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Is it too late?
That's all I gotta say.
Definitely saving.
I mean, this a Crazy Taxi. We're a Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi. Dropping people off at the KFC.
Yeah. Oh man, it was such good times.
It was. I'm gonna start doing some more Dreamcast streams. I'm gonna find a good cable that doesn't wash the.
Yes, overwrite. It's fine.
That doesn't wash out the image, and then I'm gonna start getting into.
What was the Daytona release? Daytona Championship Edition?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the online mode.
Yep.
That was fun.
Wow.
Plus the graphics looked pretty good too.
It did. It was definitely one of the better
remaster.
All right, so let's see, where
It's
we
kind of.
Oh, tear gas.
All the good old memories of Sega Dreamcast.
I know.
So they tried, but just it's like I was reading back into the day where Sega of America wanted to focus on the 32X, while Sega of Japan was like, "Well, we're doing Sega Saturn."
Yep.
And it was like, so both divisions are heading in different directions. That's going to be great.
Yeah, they literally announced the Saturn like after the 32X came out. It was like they didn't care. And you know what's funny is in the grand scheme of things, it turns out that Sega of America probably made the better overall decisions than Sega of Japan. If Sega of Japan had kind of let the Sega of America division, and as much crap as Bernie Stolar gets for things, he did some right things, and had they listened, even when what was his name that ran Sega beforehand, before Stolar?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I was late to the Sega game.
Yeah.
I had friends that had Genesis and I played it, but I was like,
I'm trying to remember.
Nintendo, I'm good.
Tom Kalinske. Had people listened to Tom Kalinske, instead of wanting to do their own thing, the 32X might have been something special, and would have been a good stopgap for the Saturn if they had just held off on the Saturn for just a little bit, and then the only issue that they had was then they did the early launch, and that killed.
Oh yeah, hey, the Saturn's available now.
Now, right,
Huh?
right. Developers are going, wait, what? So. Yeah,
we're not finished with our games yet.
Yeah, so Jeff, I have Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, so I have to take a look at that. But really, this was second. Yeah, this is the true second screen. So
the true second screen.
I know, man. So this is our tribute to the Sega Dreamcast. Everybody...
Oh wow! I forgot Rez was a Dreamcast game.
Oh yeah! Holy crap! You're right.
I'm looking at Kotaku's best Dreamcast games list, and I forgot all about that, dude.
Rez, yep. It was,
See, man.
Oh my goodness! I do have it, and I still somewhere over there.
I had it too, man.
Leonard Nimoy, freaking Nimoy.
Gods of Arcadia, Soul Calibur, Samo de Amigo.
Yep.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That was a damn good port.
Well, I mean, Saturn, man. The Saturn port was incredible with that 4-meg cart.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one of my friends had one. I think he imported it or whatever. Because you had to import that, didn't you?
No, you can get it here.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember he had the 4-meg cart, and I was like, wow.
I mean, some of the things that it did, yeah. Oh, Panzer Dragoon. Now, that's something. See, that's a game that they should have gotten over to the Dreamcast somehow. And then Clockwork Knight. I have both Clockwork Knight and Clockwork Knight 2. Pepper Chow. Those are, see, the Saturn. Yeah, I could do a whole show on the Saturn too. I mean, I could bring out the guns for Saturn. I still have my Saturn. I just I'm thinking about doing the whole SCART to HDMI thing to get that thing running. So,
Run.
I know.
Getting all into it. Oh God, look out! Your health is low. You're holding your ribs.
Now, Thomas, I'm glad we could do this, man. I know everybody else is talking about Gears and talking about
dude,
Tokyo Game Show and all that stuff. The 20th birthiversary of the Dreamcast. I mean, this was an important time for gaming, man, and this was for a short-lived console like
did
this.
a whole bunch of different shit.
It did, and it's so.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to know that it's still very celebrated, and I'm glad
It
to
was,
know.
man. I mean, that was the 24th anniversary of the PS1. September 9th, 1995 in America.
Right.
And I'm the PlayStation Brah, and I didn't even celebrate it. And I celebrated the Dreamcast. That's how much it meant to me, man.
Yeah, it's how much it meant to a lot of people.
I mean, like I said, I wasn't that big of a Sega fan at that point. But something with the Dreamcast, man, it just really caught my attention, and what Sega was trying to do in the commercials and the number 9, all that, and like the going inside the console. And
those were
in the ads. I remember in my
so good.
I had an English teacher, and he had us keep journals. And I don't know if I still have that old journal, but I wrote the countdown to the Dreamcast. It was so many days till the Dreamcast came out, and I had the little swirl on the day it came out. Oh,
so good.
Such a nerd, but
that's okay.
Yeah, I was hyped for it, dude. I was like, "Oh my god, Dreamcast!"
I mean, I had to get one from Japan because I just couldn't wait for it to come out here.
That's dedication.
I just couldn't wait.
That's so awesome that Sega got in contact with you and they sent you a dev console and all that and the games, and that's
the system disc.
Yeah,
I was stunned. I'm like, I'm just I'm a young kid, man. I'm just I'm doing this because I'm a Sega fan. So I mean, like I said, I'm sitting here at a piano store with you don't see a human for days.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there playing Sega Rally on my Saturn. I mean, I brought the Saturn with me, and I'm playing games, and I never thought for a minute that I would be, that would happen. And, unfortunately she couldn't be with us tonight, but one of my other, there was a guy there, his name was Chase, and that was just his name. It's like, what's your last name? It's just Chase. And so I dealt with him, and I dealt with a really nice lady. Her name was Heather, and I've actually reconnected with Heather on Facebook. Unfortunately, she couldn't be on. I was hoping to get you and her because she was my Sega rep, one of my Sega reps, and unfortunately, she has 3 kids like I do. So, she's on the West Coast. So 9:30 is 6:30 her time. There's no way that she could.
Yeah, dinner time.
Yeah, there was just no way. So. But shout out to her, Heather Hawkins. She, these guys, they really did. Sega, there's a few people that I credit for what they did for me. To I didn't work for a big site. I didn't work for IGN. I didn't work for GameSpot. I got a crew together and we built this on our own. And Sega helped me get started by being there for us. I didn't own Dreamcast HQ. I was just a writer for them.
Yeah.
But they gave me the start. And then my really good friend Arnie Meyer, who is currently the PR head for Naughty Dog.
Really?
Yep. But before that, he was my Xbox rep. He was my Microsoft rep. And he was influential in getting Microsoft to take us seriously as Next Level Gaming, and because he took us seriously, and so he got Microsoft to hook us up and treat us like press, and that's really what kept us going for the next 7 years of doing our own site. And he's the reason that I met Peter Moore, and I mean, it's just, there are some people that are some in the industry and some that aren't, that I really thank, profusely, because they're really, like, Arnie knows he is the reason that I am around, that Next Level Gaming is around, or was around, and is even a thing. He's really the reason, and I'll never forget that from him. So,
bless you, Arnie. Bless you.
Yes, All right. Well, given that it's almost midnight here in the East Coast,
Oh yeah, that's right, man. It's
I heard
Yeah, it's
you
probably
gone in
time to,
earlier, but we're. I mean, how can you not talk about Dreamcast for
Yeah,
hours
it's-
upon end? But I think we're gonna call it a night, and I want to thank you, Thomas, for jumping on and for hanging out. Even though we started late, I really appreciate it.
hey man, Dreamcast talk. You said
Yeah, it's
I,
nothing.
I want to talk to somebody about it, so I'm glad that we got it out and got to discuss it the past couple hours.
Yes, it's
Just the memories, man.
I know, which I have such good ones of, and you do, and a lot of people do. Jeff and John and Indie Gamer, and I thank those guys. I know we started late, so our viewership's probably not very heavy. Macaval, I know he was in here. And thank those guys for hanging out with us. Invader, I know Invader was in here earlier. So and Jago, he jumped in for a while.
Jago was here for a minute.
Jago's my Sega brother, and Stinking Corpse. Who else was in here tonight? Siberia stopped in for a second.
Yo, what up, bye?
Yeah, it's okay. This is my
I've
gaming
had guys
family,
on my show too. Hey man, just something by to say hi real quick. See you.
Yeah, this is my gaming family.
Yeah.
So, as you are, man, and I'm glad you're able to join me tonight.
Hey, thanks for asking. I mean, I'm glad it all came together because, like I said, my wife wasn't feeling that good, and I'm like, oh no, here we go. But then she was like, okay, if you hear me yelling, just come, tell them to hold on. I was like, okay, babe.
Yeah, not a problem. So tell her I said thank you.
All right, no problem, dude.
So, and tell everybody where they can find you. I mean, I've already got your Twitter down there, but tell them where.
Of course, I'm on Twitter all the time. You know that.
Yes.
And I got my website, theplaystationbrahs.com.
Yes.
Try to keep it pretty up to date. Doesn't always happen, but for the most part, I'm trying to keep news pretty going.
Yeah.
The bigger news, and of course, Mr. PSVR has all the VR news you need.
You've got the premier VR guy.
Yeah, I know, man. He's a blessing. And Indie, man. Like I said, Indie, he covers all the indie titles. He's all about it. He got a copy of Greedfall, and he was like, "Oh my God, yes!" It was like he just got the biggest game of the year. It was. He streamed it for 4 hours the first night.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how hyped he was for it.
Nice.
And I had never heard of the game prior to E3. Had you Greedfall from Spiders Games?
I had not heard of it either until I started hearing it.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere, and he was like, "Dude, did you play Greedfall?" I had an invitation, I think, but I didn't accept it because I'd never heard of it.
Nice.
I was like, "Oh man, come on!"
Nice. No.
But no, yeah, either you'll see me on the website or on Twitter. That's for damn sure.
Are we bringing the broadcast back though? I mean,
Yeah, I gotta look. Well, I did the easy way out, the Google Hangouts,
yeah.
and of course, Google Hangout no longer exists. So
There's a couple of I'll hook you up with a couple of things. There's a couple of alternatives that'll work.
because I don't know if some of the guys want to do I don't mind being on camera, but I know some other guys are kind of shy about it.
Right.
They're all
Yeah. Who am I hiding from, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't handle this, then.
Right, exactly. Right. So
But no, I know some of the guys don't really want to
no,
put themselves out there, which is fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, actually, if you check out TXR podcast, they've got a Hangouts alternative that does not require camera. So
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's stream something. But it's an alternative for those who Hangouts doesn't work anymore. But I'd like to. I would love to see the return of the broadcast.
I've been working on. I've been talking to some other friends. I mean, I wouldn't mind putting something on. A legit podcast so that people can put on their phone or whatever.
Oh yeah.
People are always asking about that. Hey man,
I know. Everybody's always
I
asking.
love watching the show, but I love listening on the way to work. I'm like, well,
why aren't you on iTunes? I'm like, well, because I'm not that serious.
Yes.
I don't have my own server and places to. No.
Yeah, you just want to talk about games with your friends.
Exactly. That's really what this is. So, but yeah, we need to start our own. So a reader's petition. Do you want to see the broadcast back? Click this link.
Yeah, you won't believe what happens if you click this link.
Pay us $1 million. So, if you saw, Worrywart had a little comment in this video.
Yeah,
said the birth of Sunset Overdrive.
Oh yes,
not terribly wrong.
Yeah.
So, that cell shaded look too was really awesome.
How many games copied that?
Yeah, right.
Everybody did. Yep. Cell damage. I mean, damn.
Yep. Oh yeah, cell damage was good.
Oh.
All right, so
we can't. We
gotta get to bed.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you guys in the chat room. The few of you that held it down tonight, we really appreciate it. And John Place, my brother, it is good to see you. I'm so glad that you hung out with us tonight. I know, man. He's a good guy. He really is.
Man.
He's a
John
good
is great.
guy. So I'm really happy that he stopped in. So, so we'll see you guys all next week, I think. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think
maybe?
So. Yeah.
Maybe.
So, but everybody have a great night. Let me do this. Oh yeah, I do have the outro. Yeah. Oh, hold on, I gotta redo. I did do an outro. Yes, I did.
What's bright?
It's bright.
Oh. Tell a friend. Game over, yeah.